Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Big DK Energy Podcast. My name is Danny K, or the DK in the Big DK Energy, and I am currently in the Big Apple, or New York City for those of you who don't know, which I wouldn't know who wouldn't know that. But anyway, so I'm here visiting friends and family, and one of my friends is actually here on the show today. At 7'1", he is well known throughout the Queens community here in New York as an actor, a comedian, and a bodyguard. And so when he's not doing all those cool enterprises, he's talking to me about history and his knife collection. So we're going to find out about this really cool individual on today's episode. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming today's guest, Mr. Fancygiant.
Thank you.
Joey, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be on this podcast. I remember when you first told me you wanted to start a podcast and like how you're going to do it and all this kind of stuff. Because like you're mainly into photography and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, you should totally go for it. And I remember like watching like the first episode and seeing all the other episodes. You got all like the people with you. You got the different girls. You got a few athletes too, right?
Yeah, I've had a couple of actors on there, and then I've also had a couple of professional athletes. But, you know, we're just slowly but surely getting there.
Exactly, man. Like, you're blowing up right now. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the podcast, and I'm really proud for you.
Oh, I appreciate that, Joey. Well, you know, we've been friends for a while now, and I'm just like, I've got to think of cool individuals who got to get on the show, and I'm like, you, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially the fact that we both know how to chill, but at the same time, we're both educated individuals.
Yeah, very, very, very true.
For example, when we were talking about, I remember one of the first times I met you, and you mentioned something about someone being sick, and you were like, oh, well, if you thought it was the air, you must be a miasmist. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, this kid's awesome.
Yeah.
Because there's only a very few people that I know that would know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but anyway, you're a local here of New York, is that right?
Yeah. I was born in Manhattan, parents moved to Brooklyn, and then moved to Ridgewood, Queens.
Nice. So, how did you get into bodyguard work?
Basically, I had a few mentors when I was younger. So they either like are in the military, some of them were teachers who like retired from the military, and they were the people I bonded the most with. And like after school, we talk about stuff I wanted to do. I was like, yeah, I want to join the military. I want to be special forces, all this kind of stuff.
Would you even be able to fit into the helicopter if they had to touch down somewhere?
Probably not. I went to a National Guard recruiting office, and they were surprised, and I was like, what's wrong? It's like, you might be too tall. And I'm like, really?
Too tall? There's such a thing?
I mean, I talked to the two guys who were there. I didn't actually talk to the recruiter himself. So when they said, yeah, you might be too tall, I'm like, oh, shit. So I walked out.
Oh.
Maybe it's different. Maybe the recruiter would have let me join or whatever. But hearing from two actual soldiers, you might be too tall. I'm like, bro. Like my head was like right there, like above the door. So I was like, damn. That discouraged me enough, but I was kind of happy I didn't end up doing it anyways.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's like everyone who has been in the service, they loved it, but at the same time, they wouldn't recommend people going into it.
Oh, yeah. And for me, it was like I was already in college. So
okay.
A lot of people would be like, oh, wait, you were already in college. Why would you then join the military? Like, we joined the military so we could go to college, not like leave college to go to the military.
That is true. The GI Bill is definitely part of that. What's going on with my camera today? Hold on.
What's up?
All right, just pause. My camera's has been stopped automatically slow card write speed. What? Okay, sorry about that, folks. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. One of the cameras is not working with me right now, but it's okay. So anyway, you were already in college, and what made you want to become a bodyguard specifically?
I talked to one of my mentors, and I was like, hey, I need some money. I'm in school. I got to work. He's like, well, you want to do the bodyguard stuff. You want to do, like, security-wise, like, work. So why don't you do security work? You could go somewhere.
Well, they would take you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So I did that. Then I started working at this strip club in my neighborhood as one of the bouncers. I was like, oh my God, $100 a night. That's amazing. Then I got fired from there and I started working somewhere else. I was making $20 an hour, college. Ew, $20 an hour, that's amazing. I bragged to people about it. Like, oh my God, he's getting $20 an hour. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, that is big money for when you are in college.
Yeah, because, you don't really have much bills. And if you want to party or whatever, you can somewhat party on that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so I don't know if bodyguarding was like in the plan early in life, but it seems like you've kind of bodyguarded for some pretty cool people. I saw that you bodyguarded for Fetty Wap and Wyclef Jean.
Well, I didn't bodyguard for Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap was like, I met him through JB, the guy who lets use the studio. And we're coming back from Philly. Philly trip is amazing. A lot of girls, a lot of fun, a lot of everything. He's like, yo, you want to meet Fetty Wap? And I'm like, yeah. So we were hanging out in the studio with Fetty Wap for hours, doing music that hasn't even come out yet. So, I get to hear that, first look, everything. It was hot in there, though. Oh, my God, it was hot in there.
Why? Because the tracks were so fire? Hey.
That too, but I think the AC was, messed up.
Oh, well.
They fixed it, a couple hours in, but it was hot and people were passing out. But it was amazing.
Oh, it was that bad?
Yeah. Because, not all studios, have, windows. Sometimes, it's, inside the building, here, right? Mm-hmm. But if there's something wrong with ventilation, if there's something wrong with AC, even little problem that heats up kind of fast. But they fixed it and it was good. It was amazing. I just really had a great time. But other than that, I've done bodyguard work for Nick Cannon before, Hilary Duff.
How is Hilary Duff? Because I had a huge crush on her when I was in second grade.
She is an amazing, beautiful soul in person. Very polite. I remember I said to her, I was like, hey, I know I'm breaking character right now, but I grew up watching you on TV. It's amazing to see you here, and you're awesome. And she said, thank you.
Well, that's good. Glad that she's nice.
Yes, and she has a big booty.
Dang, and you've seen it in person, too.
Yeah. You see it on TV, you can't tell, but in person, she's got a badonkadonk, bro.
Can you see it from the front, kind of badonkadonk?
Yes, you can see it from the front. You see it from the front, but see it from the back. And I wasn't trying to be a perv or nothing. I'm just saying, she got a lot of ass.
Listen, if she's walking in front of you and you so happen to look, you have a full field of vision.
I'm looking ahead, but I see what's in front of me, and I'm like, whoa.
I could see what Gordo was obsessing over.
Yeah. And then I also did work for Hans Zimmer. He makes
Wait, the composer?
Yeah. So there was a few guys on the team. I was part of the team that was staying backstage because there's the place we were. There's a elevator and it goes up to a certain floor that's reserved for him and his crew, right? So I'm there and the rest of his crew is just kind of working and I'm just kind of sitting down, in front of the elevator, make sure no one comes up who isn't supposed to or make sure everything goes fine. And the music starts playing, and we can hear it because it's playing through a speaker or something for us. It was pretty cool. So it's playing, and every song he does, I'm naming the movies. The crew caught on. I was like, oh my God, he knows everything. So when Hans comes back upstairs, they're like, hey, every song you played, he named the movie.
With an IQ of 118 or 120, I'm not surprised that you would know that.
Yeah, I grew up watching a lot of movies Last Samurai, Pirates of the Caribbean, all this kind of stuff. So for me, it was I've been listening to this music for years, and I'm one of those people who, if I could find the soundtrack for these amazing background songs, I get the soundtrack, I download it onto my phone, and I'm listening to that all day. If I go to the gym, I'm listening to that. If I'm hanging out with some friends, I'm listening to that. People are like, what are you listening to? And I'll let them, why are you listening to background music? Because it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, actually. So I was in game design at my school, and so one of the people in one of my groups, his name was also Daniel. Actually, he would always play the Hamilton soundtrack whenever we were working. So I totally feel you on that. And plus, not that this is a movie soundtrack, but I don't know if you've ever heard of the anime Samurai Champloo.
No.
Okay, so it has this producer named Nujabes as the person who composed it. Basically, he in the 90s somehow created a hip hop soundtrack for a samurai anime. And yet the two was a match made in heaven. And he's him and Jay Dilla are two of my favorite producers because they are the forefathers of lo-fi.
Yeah. Another person I did security for was Fabio Foreign.
Who?
Fabio Foreign, the rapper.
What songs has he done?
Big Drip.
Oh, that was him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you say who? Oh my God.
Where
have you been?
Sorry, it's I know the songs, but I don't really know all the Youngs and the Lils. Although this reminded me of one time of I don't know if it was a skit or not, but this one kid, he went up to DaBaby's car and he goes, DaBaby, I'm such a huge fan. I know all your songs. And so DaBaby somehow entertains him and he goes, what's your favorite song? And then he goes, you did The Box, right? And you could see him just be like, shut the hell up. And then just pull the window up.
Yeah, but working with Fabio Four was cool, man. He has a lot of guys around him usually, a lot of guys from either his hood or just like his artists. And one thing I like about him is you'll see like, oh, he looks like this big gangster or whatever. I mean, let's say he's real. He's real, right? Real about his stuff, but he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
Good at heart?
Yeah, real good at heart.
Like Nipsey Hussle kind of thing?
Never met Nipsey Hussle, but yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like somewhat of a wild environment, but he's pretty chill. A lot of his guys chill. By the way, rest in peace, T. Wu. I met him a few times before he died.
Oh, well, rest in peace.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of artists who've passed that, are from New York, did you ever get to do any work for Pop Smoke?
No.
Oh.
Like, basically, when I first met JB, I was like, yeah, this is cool. But I kind of, like, for a few months didn't really talk to him. And was just kind of focusing on getting jobs, working, rat race kind of stuff. So I had a chance to meet Pop Smoke. But at that point in time, I wasn't really hanging out with them.
Got it.
So by the time I started, he was already dead. So I knew like a lot of the same people. So if I had been around more, I would have definitely met him. But he was already,
So JB is your mentor, right?
Yeah.
So how did you meet JB exactly?
A friend of mine called me. And she's like, hey, I'm doing a music video. I want security for the music video. I can't pay you, whatnot. But, you can meet some people. And I'm like, hey, you don't even have to say that. Because for me and her have such a close relationship. We're so cool to this day that she's like assisting me. So I'm like, hey, no problem. I'm going to come. I'm going to bring one of my friends and whatnot. I'm like, hey, bro, it's Chance to Network, Chance whatever. He's like, you got me at Network. So we go. We do the one scene. It's like, hey, you guys can leave if you want. I'm like, nah, I'm going to stay later. Because I wanted to hang out with her anyway. Because she lives in Florida, and I barely get to see her.
Hey, we're in Florida.
I think Tampa.
Okay, Tampa's where it's at. Well, even though I live in Orlando, Tampa's a really fun place.
Yeah. It's either Orlando or Tampa. Because I know like a family has like a bunch of Chinese food stores out there. And like nail salons. Like her parents like really big on business.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm hanging out with her. I'm giving her piggyback rides like around the city and whatnot. Her boyfriend's there. He's cool.
At your height, I don't think he'd want to mess with you anyway.
Yeah. But he's a cool dude. Respect. But JB pulls up. He has his white Maserati. Like the sport. Like the really, really fast.
All right.
Yeah. Like the sedan. But like 2-seater, just fast.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We both know what that extra seat is for.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, he pulls up. Me and him click immediately. We start talking. They're filming for the music video and whatnot. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing business, and I'm Haitian. I'm like, oh, I'm Haitian too. I was like, really?
Oh, ça passe.
My brûlé. So we start talking immediately. And he gives me his number, gives his Instagram, or whatever. Say, yeah, let's stay in touch. Like I hung out with him like maybe like a week or two later. But then, I was like working. So I didn't really have time after that. And the COVID hit. And I was like, oh my God, COVID.
Yeah, well, it seems like COVID, because everyone has to be locked in with each other. Seems like, did you two hang out more because of that?
No. When COVID hit, we didn't really hang out that much. We hung out like fall of 2020 is when I started hanging out with JB more. When the lockdowns are ending. We're still talking on the phones and whatnot, but like back then you couldn't really go anywhere. Everything was closed.
Oh, okay, you know what? I forgot that because I'm a Floridian and we just did not get the same fun.
You had freedom.
I'm sorry you guys were cooped up for that long. Actually, I totally forgot about that because I had a friend who lived in the city and she was like showing me pictures of like the streets completely empty.
Oh yeah. Even in my neighborhood, I'd walk my dog and like I'd be on the corner and I'm like, but where is everybody? You maybe saw 3 people like on the corner chilling or maybe outside their apartment, but everyone was just inside. I was like, wow.
This is so odd.
It was like a ghost town.
That must have been eerie because even in Orlando, it was still kind of eerie. Like I would always go for like a morning walk because like I was watching Joe Rogan and I forgot it was like one of the main guys at the CDC on his show, and they were talking about what people could do to prepare for COVID. And so since they said, since we can't really see anything right now for the foreseeable future, basically all you can do is try to boost your immune system by eating healthier and exercising. And so I just decided to go like for morning runs, but even then the streets were like really empty and this was odd and whatnot.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was something most people had never seen before.
Got it. So I know you do a little bit of streaming, but how did you normally keep yourself occupied during that COVID time of being locked up here?
Modern Warfare.
Not locked up. So let me just change it.
Lockdown, yeah.
Lockdown, there we go.
I played a lot of Modern Warfare. I got gold on my Glock.
Hey, there we go.
I got gold on so many guns during COVID. I was like, woo.
Did you play any Total War?
I did. Actually, me and you played a few games during COVID, didn't we?
We did. So one reason why Joey here is one of my best friends is because he also knows the superiority of one of the best game series of the entirety of human history, and that is
Total War franchise.
You got it.
Like they got several different games. Like if you're into samurai, you can do that. If you're a Rome guy, you can do that. If you just want to do medieval battles, you can do that. But then again, for every game, they got different mods and whatnot. So if you're like Lord of the Rings, they haven't made a Lord of the Rings game, but there's a Lord of the Rings mod.
Yes, I watch those all the time, and I tried downloading the mod onto my version, and it just keeps like crashing. I don't know, like.
I think it's like there's always like a new updated version of those mods.
Yeah, and you have to take out all those files and like re-put them back in.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's a headache.
If you're a Total War guy, that's great because like there's so many different versions. So if you want to do Victorian era, they have that Empire Total War. If you are into Warhammer, they have 2 games.
3.
3?
Yeah, Warhammer 3's been out since like last October.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know about 1 and 2.
Oh, well, 3 is fucking sick. Okay, question. Did you like Troy Total War at all?
Here's the thing. I used that code that you had, right? Mm-hmm. But I lost it.
Oh, no.
No, not exactly I lost it, right? It's on the Epic Games Store. I don't know how to get back into my Epic Games account, so I haven't played it yet.
Okay. Well, did you at least download for free when it did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, just making sure you did.
Yeah, but it's downloaded to Epic Games, so I have to then get back in my Epic Games account so that I can download them to my computer.
Got it. To be quite honest, I played it, and I was not exactly the biggest fan of it. Now, it's kind of interesting because, like, of course in Warhammer, they have, like, all those flying units, all those, like, cool, mythical, dragon-like units and whatnot. However, in Troy, you can play either the monster units as, like, humanized versions of the monsters, or you could download, like, the actual mythical version. Like, you fight against a literal harpy, for example. Like, there's winged, half bird, half women swooping down on your troops kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it like this. I don't like Total War with mythical stuff, which is one of the reasons I didn't buy 3 Kingdoms. Because, like, you have the whole heroes thing. I always hated that.
Yeah, but then again, that's really the only mythical thing that would exist because there are no, like, creatures of any sorts.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, like, I love playing Warhammer. Right, and I played like the Xbox game before the Total War game even came out. And if there was a hero, I'd always isolate that hero and make sure they died first. I never liked having a hero. I was like, eh.
So actually, I have 3 Kingdoms, and it has 2 versions that you can play. You can play one where you have a hero marking, whole units by themselves, or you can have them like back to like the regular version where they're just a general in a unit of like cavalry, for example.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty fun. But with China going against China, it's like all the units are mostly the same. Except I got the DLC for like the Southern Kingdoms. So like I don't know if you know this, but Vietnam used to be part of China.
Really?
Oh yeah. And so I believe they were called the Nan Man tribes.
Yeah.
And so basically they were seen as like the backwater country bumpkin folk that a lot of people think of the South.
Question: do you have any viewers in China?
No, I don't have any viewers in China.
I was about to say, man, it's like, because we're talking about history, man, we got to stop talking if it's about China, because if you say Tibet, they're going to be like, no more Danny.
What are you talking about? I love going gambling. And so therefore I have to bet.
Yes.
Like at casinos, it's not free.
Not free at all.
Listen, when I play Total War, I can really act up. Sometimes I'll have victories snatched away from my hands in defeat. But speaking of acting, you've done some acting yourself.
Yeah, I've done 2 projects for FlowX Films. One of them's called Life of a Zoe, and the other one's called Behavior.
Zoe, isn't that like an alternative term for Haitian?
Yeah. A lot of Haitian artists will mention Zoe in their music and whatnot.
Has Fetty Wap ever? I don't think I've ever remembered him.
I don't know about Fetty Wap.
What about Wyclef?
I think he has. To be honest, like, Wyclef, like, made, like, a lot of music, and I listened to some of his stuff, but at the same time, like, Wyclef was not really my generation. Yep. So, like, I heard him on the radio as a kid, and I've listened to a few songs here and there. That's like...
Didn't he try to run for president of Haiti as well?
I think so, yeah. But he didn't win.
Well, that's all right. Being president is a lot of power.
It's a lot of power, but it's also, especially in like countries like that, like it's the people around you. So like you could be a president and have like, I want to do this and I want to do that, and certain people just say, hey, this is how it's actually done.
Yeah. So going back to Project Life of a Zoe, and what was the other one called again?
Behavior.
I guess through like being around influential people as a bodyguard, you were like, hey, I want to take a dabble into that.
Yeah, that's basically how it went. So like with Daniel Jean and JBA, Daniel Jean, like I said, got me on
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer, yeah. So I was like, hey, I want to act. And Jane was like, hey, yo, you want to be on Jerry Springer? I'm like, yeah.
So we've just confirmed that all those shows are staged.
I'm not saying they're staged, but the whole point is it's TV. So like, even when the story's real, you have to say stuff in a certain way. They're going to coach you like a little bit. There's like little teleprompters, because at the same time, real or not, you have to present a certain image because it's television. There's certain things you can't say because it's television. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I don't know if you have a little bit more freedom on a podcast. I feel like you do. Like, for example, on my podcast, I don't mind if you curse.
Oh, yeah. No, the Jerry Springer, that story was real. But what I'm saying helping with acting is because there's certain things you have to say in a certain way. The whole idea of it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
Like, I wasn't used to that. And then when I started doing the actual acting, I was like somewhat used to it because of that situation.
You were exposed.
Exactly.
All right, sweet. And do you have any projects coming up?
Well, I was in Behavior. I was in Life of a Zoe. I don't know when those come out. I think Behavior's supposed to come out on Netflix. I mean, that was the producer's like goal, but there's no trailer for it yet, so I don't know if it's going to be on Netflix or not. It may not be. But it was another movie a friend of mine had made. He put me in it. I don't remember the name of that film, but he's still like editing it. So like when it comes out, I'll definitely give you all the info, and if you want to post it, you can, or if not, it's fine.
Hell yeah, dude, I'll post it.
Yeah.
Might even post a little clip on the show. Or,
awesome.
or like, as a little trailer or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know those are your projects, and, you just told us about your upcoming. What goes into your methodology when preparing for a role?
For me, I just want to be the best I possibly can because, like, unlike other people, I don't have as much experience. So I'll, like, look at actors who I'm like, I admire this actor. I want to be like this actor. So for me...
Who are those actors that you want to emulate?
Matthew McConaughey, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Joaquin Phoenix.
Very interesting selection right there.
Joaquin Phoenix, from what I've heard, people just talk about how he acts and whatnot. He really commits himself to his role and what he's trying to do.
Like method acting?
Yeah. So like the Joker, he becomes the Joker.
So like what Heath Ledger did?
Yeah. There's another movie he did called We Own the Night. He became that seedy, kind of druggy kind of character with the slutty girlfriend and the gangster friends. Like every movie he does, he takes like a transformation.
Well, I've actually never seen Joker. I just know he did a good job based on what I've seen, based on the few clips that I've seen on YouTube. However, he did a great performance in Gladiator.
Amazing performance.
What movies would you say are like some of your favorites?
Fight Club.
You just broke the rule just by just saying that.
Yeah, Tyler, please don't hurt me. Please don't take my balls.
You didn't hear what I just said.
No, I heard, in the head. Right there. Yeah, you're not even here. This is just me in a room with cameras talking to myself. Yeah.
So Fight Club,
Shawshank Redemption, and this movie with Marissa Tomei and Christian Slater called Untamed Heart.
Never heard of that, but
came out in '93.
Okay, maybe that's
so. Your dad saw it when he was younger, yeah.
My dad probably saw it right before I was born, if anything.
Your dad was like, "Gee, Willikers, Marissa Tomei."
Yeah, man, she's something. And I remember when Christian Slater was like in every movie of that era.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if you remember this one movie he was in with Nick Cage and Adam Beach, I think his name is. He's an actor of Indigenous American descent, but he was in a movie called Wind Talkers. Have you heard about that?
I think I've seen it before. Yeah.
It's about the Navajo Code Talkers in the Pacific.
I think I've seen it once. Yeah, I probably saw it in high school.
It was an okay movie. Nicolas Cage can only act so well.
Actually, Nicolas Cage is such a hero for me acting-wise that I don't even put him on the list of actors I want to be like, because it's like, man, you gotta go a long way to get like Nicolas Cage. Like him, Samuel Jackson, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, the Butler from Batman, and Patrick Stewart.
Michael Caine,
Patrick Stewart. Those guys are like the gods of acting. And then the one dude from Game of Thrones who played Tyrion's father. He's been acting since like the 80s or 70s, something like that. I've seen like so many of his films.
I believe his last name is Strong. I'm gonna pull a lifeline and look that up real quickly.
Yeah, but like those kind of actors, it's like it would be amazing if one day I got to that status. But at the same time, it's like you have to really commit to become that good. And I'm willing to work hard, but at the same time, I'm getting a late start. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, 29, I'll be 30 in February, so it's like...
Well, happy early birthday.
Yeah.
Charles Dance. That is his name.
Dance. Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite imposing as Tywin.
Tywin, yeah.
Like, I truly believe that he was some vile character. I'm like, man, this guy's good.
Oh, yeah. He's amazing. He was also on the show called The Crown, right?
I never saw The Crown, but I'm sure he was in there. He's a very famous actor.
Yeah.
In British society, at least.
True, but, like, he's been doing movies since, like, the 80s. Like, every decade, he's, like, known for something else, but he's, like, I'd say generational fame.
Then another good person, I guess, that you would want to probably look at is Christopher Lee.
Who's that?
Saruman from The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
He actually is a pretty goated story. He's related to Charlemagne. He was in the OSS during the Second World War. Apparently, James Bond is based off of him.
Really?
Yeah, like the guy who wrote James Bond was his cousin, Ian Fleming. So he's got a pretty cool story. Oh, and at like 80, he produced metal albums. And going back to what you were saying about being too late, I don't know if you remember from the first Black Panther, but all the tribes, their leaders were speaking, saying, we will not send a representative to challenge T'Challa. So one of them was like a 90-year-old woman. Turns out that 90-year-old woman, that was her first ever role.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying it's too late for acting, but what I'm saying is like I'm doing it. But at the same time, just come on the scene and say, hey, I'm going to be better than all of you, including the top guys. It's not bad to believe in yourself, but at the same time, I think it's good to be humble. And it's good realistic. To show, realistic too, but also, show respect to the people who did so much to get there before you. I'm not saying like I can't do it. I'm saying like to say I want to be like Nicolas Cage is like, bro, I just, like, look at his filmography. Look at all the work he's done. Look at everything. And to see where I am now, it's like, I'm good. I can be better, and I'm trying to. But it's like, that's real far from Nicolas Cage, bro.
You know what? It's okay, man. It's like I just made a post on LinkedIn today, not ever mentioning the name of the show because it's not work appropriate. But I did say that Slow and Steady does win the race because this past October was my whole 1-year anniversary of doing this podcast. And like,
really? It's been a year?
Yeah, it's already been
nice.
A year and like 2 months, but thank you. And we're just taking it episode by episode. I mean, Joe Rogan has had a 10-year start on me, but at the same time, it's like, the fact that I put out 50 episodes means that I'm in the 48th percentile of podcasters in the world because there are 2 million podcasts out there, but only 48% have over 10 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people fizzle out after 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to put in. Crazy. Like, if you're not willing, like, there's people who'll be like, yo, I want to start a podcast, right? And then they'll never start it. Then there's people who, I want to start a podcast. They'll do a few episodes, but yo, this is hard. Yo, I'm not getting subscribers. Yeah, I got to put all my money into this. I'm like, yo, like you have this dream, you have this thing, and you can become successful at it. But a lot of people are not really willing to do it, or they have certain circumstances to where they can't do it long term. So, yeah, congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it, man. And same with you in the acting. Seems like acting is like your main direction in life right now, right? Or where would you want to go goal-wise?
For me, it's like I'm taking every opportunity I got, basically. So like I want to become successful, but there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do. So if I can find security work, security. If I can find acting, definitely. Business-wise, same thing. It's like I don't want to say I have no direction because I do. But it's like I have so much stuff coming to me right now. I'm trying to deal as much of it as I can. You know what I mean? So, like, let's say I got a job offer. Somehow I met Brad Pitt. Mm-hmm. And Brad Pitt was like, hey, I want you to be my bodyguard. I want you to handle all my security and all this kind of stuff, right? And at the same time, it's like, hey, it's going to be for this amount of time. And then someone's like, yo, I got this little acting thing. And I'm like, I'm going to take the best offer, the best thing I can get. But at the same time, I'm not trying to say no to anything. So until the paper is signed, I'm talking to this person, I'm talking to that person. Until my name's signed down the line, the contracts, what it is, I'm taking everything as it comes.
Excellent. Well, I am more than proud of you for taking on these opportunities, and you've been killing it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Always, man. And we're having such a fun time that we're actually coming up to the last part of the show, which is the bonus question round.
All right.
So, you ready for that?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, awesome. Joey, man, I'm so glad I got to catch up with you today. I know you have a very busy schedule, but I'm really honored for the fact that you allowed me to have you on my show.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Always.
I always wanted to be on the show.
Well, now you're on it, and we're unfortunately coming to the last part, but it's the most fun part, and that is the bonus question round. It is 10 questions that are fun to answer, but that won't put you in any jeopardy for future jobs. So,
Okay.
we're going to get to it if you're ready.
I am ready.
Excellent. All right, Joey, or Fancygiant. Question number 1. You're allowed to go back in time to become a general of any army you choose. What era do you go back to, and what group of people do you lead to victory?
I go back to when Persia invaded Greece. I would lead the Persians.
And I'm assuming you would fight the Greeks, or who would you want to fight?
Oh, it's really simple. I would attack all of the weaker Greek nations first, but before I actually sent in actual regular soldiers, I'd send in criminals, I'd send in to whittle down the country, each country, the morale of the people, and the standard of living to the point of where they're more likely to give up or fight amongst each other in the face of real battle. And I'd do it nation by nation by nation. And I would send in the best of my military, but in small numbers, to destroy infrastructure, to burn farms and whatnot. But
like have them disguised and whatnot?
Yeah, but at the same time, blame people in the country. Blame the military, blame the rich, blame this, blame that. So while all this infighting is going on, and they're busy with that, full attack on the most powerful of them.
Yeah, because I'm assuming that like Athens and Sparta wouldn't be able to levy up any of their allies, quote unquote.
Yeah, but that war would probably take a long time for me because I wouldn't want to just... The issue with the Persian army is they had too many damn slaves. I would free more of them and train them to be regular soldiers, and then, would have dealt with the Greeks. Give them something to fight for, but also give them better training, better weapon, better everything.
All right, sweet. All right, question number 2. What would your last meal be? And who would you want it cooked by?
Cook, Gordon Ramsay. Last meal, I'm going to need 3 lobster tails, 1 Angus steak, 1 Wagyu steak, well done, and 2 lamb chops.
Some surf and turf with lamb.
Yep.
Side dishes?
Baby carrots. I need 1 McChicken with a lot of ranch on it. Romaine lettuce, like the stalks of them. Some corn. Wash it all down. I would need a large cup of milk and a few of those $2 bottles, like the half gallons of water, Poland Spring. Actually, no. Voss.
There
Voss
we
water.
go.
Yeah. But nice and cold. Like not frozen, but chilled. You know what I'm saying? Like close to the point of where it...
It has just enough condensation.
To the point of where it's a lot of condensation, but the water itself is chilled and it's like solidified, basically.
Okay, got it.
Mush. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so it gives a little texture as it goes down.
Exactly.
All right. Honestly, now I'm pretty hungry. Screw you, Joey. Question number 3. You're having dinner with 3 of your main influences who are not friends or family. JB is a friend. Who are they, and what are you getting to eat?
Andrew Tate, Eric Prince, John D. Rockefeller.
So, I'm assuming Rockefeller's paying for the dinner? I'm just kidding. Let's hope he does.
Andrew's paying.
Oh, and the second part of that question is, what are you getting to eat?
Steak.
Nice. Or as Andrew Tate would say, give me your most expensive steak. Well, we have this, that's $2,000. Or this, that's $2,100. Which is the larger number? I said the most expensive steak.
Basically, yes. The biggest and most expensive steak.
Like a Thor's hammer kind of thing?
Yeah. Well done.
Number 4. If you could go back and witness one event in history without altering our current timeline, what would you go witness?
Ooh, there's a lot of things.
Fine, give me your top 3.
Okay. The fall of Rome.
Wait, are we talking actual Rome or like Constantinople?
Actual Rome, so like the sacking of Rome.
Got it.
By the Goths and the Vandals. So I think, isn't that 2 separate events? Because didn't the Goths pillage Rome?
I'm pretty sure they did.
But didn't the Vandals also pillage Rome?
I don't know if they did or not, but I know for a fact the Goths did. I think it was the Visigoths that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that in the Republic era, before Rome was pillaged by Brennus of the Gauls, which is one of the reasons why Caesar hated the Gauls so much.
Yeah. All right, so there's that. The Battle of Berlin. So like the Nazis fighting the Soviets and the Soviets fighting the Nazis. That was just a shit show, but it's a horrible battle, but a beautiful battle at the same time.
I could see what you mean. It's just the overall crumbling of the Nazi regime.
Yeah, like that, but it's also 2 different forces coming together, each side putting their all into it and gaining ground and losing ground. Fighting in the streets, fighting in the sewers, fighting in everything. Planes going overhead, tanks, artillery. It's just like... It sucks because it's war, but at the same time, it's like the best example of what war really is. So I think like being able to experience that without being able to get hurt would be good to give you more of an appreciation for what war is. I think if more people could actually see what war actually is, we'd fight a whole lot less.
Absolutely, especially, no one wants to see their friends' brains getting blown out the back of their heads.
Exactly.
And one more event?
One more event, the French Revolution.
Okay. You want to see some people get guillotined?
No. The whole fervor of the people for, like, liberty and all this other kind of stuff. People talk about it now, but most people don't know what they're really talking about, To see, like, how it was for the French and everything like that, it'd be somewhat of a beautiful experience. Minus all the murder.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't want to meet Robespierre, but just imagine if you bumped into Napoleon in the crowd. Question number 5. If you can get all the weapons and armor of any Total War game created, which game is it, and what unit would you take the weapons and armor from?
Question. Did Total War have a 40k game?
They never had a 40k game. They just have regular Warhammer, like fantasy.
Damn. Does this count for mods or no?
How about we'll do one regular, one mod?
Regular. I guess I would go medieval to Norse Swordsman and Gotland Footman for the mod. The Orkai.
Honestly, out of everyone's armor that would be able to fit you, I think it would be Urkai.
Orkai and the elves.
Which one? Because I know there's like a couple of faction of elves, right?
Yeah. What's his name's wife? One of the dudes married an elf.
Oh, Arwen.
No. From the third movie.
Yeah, Aragorn marries Arwen, the daughter of Elrond.
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever his unit is... Actually, no. The archer from the movie. He was from a different... elf.
Legolas?
Yeah, Legolas.
He was in the Mirkwood elves.
Mirkwood. Say, I would take Mirkwood elves, and I'd take their armor and their swords.
Nice.
Because, like, they're the ones who made the goblin cleaver and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'd use theirs.
Yeah, well, you have the height of an elf already, so there's that. Number 6. You're creating a festival for your favorite charity. Who are the 6 headliners, and what's the charity?
Individual charities, I don't know the names of, but...
What's a cause that you can get
behind? A cause. Okay. A charity to support the freedom fighters of Myanmar. The headliners, you said 6, right? Mm-hmm. I'd pick Hans Zimmer.
They can be dead, too. You can bring them back for this concert.
Beethoven, Mozart, Justin Bieber.
Interesting jump, but okay.
I mean, you gotta get some other people in there, you know what I'm saying?
Fair.
Deadmau5 and 50 Cent.
50 Cent, okay. Question number 7. Describe your dream house.
Darth Vader's castle on Mustafar with a lava lake.
Oh, that would be sick.
Truthfully, like, that's one of the places I want to build for myself. Something like that. Like a huge black castle.
Where would you want to have it?
Montana.
There's a bunch of land out there, actually.
Yep.
I don't know if you know this, but Alvin Kamara, running back for the New Orleans Saints, he owns a house out there.
Mm-hmm. I literally want to build it so big that it's like basically like a small city. Military base, airport, like a division of soldiers living with me.
Oh, you want a compound, okay.
Oh, yeah. I want a compound. I want like a little small, like mini city.
Question number 8. Dream vacation and itinerary.
I want to take a trip around Asia.
Give me 6 countries you specifically want to see.
Philippines, Thailand, China, Japan. I would say Myanmar, but they're going through a civil war, so no. South Korea, and if I could, make sure I wouldn't get in any trouble, North Korea.
I don't think anyone would want to mess with you over there.
Hey, they got a whole army.
So I didn't go into North Korea, but I did see it like from across a less than 2 mile border.
Yeah, I'd have to call that basketball player like, hey, get your boy to let me come in. I want to play basketball with him.
Or just say you're Dennis Rodman. They'll bring you back.
I mean, there's that. I have to pay Dennis Rodman a whole bunch of money. Like, hey, you got to come. What do you mean? You have to come. I want to party with the communists.
Why do you want to party with the communists?
I want to go home.
I don't know. Would you dye your hair if he told you to do that? Like,
yes.
Dyed all blonde?
But I don't have any hair.
Okay, so you win right there.
Whatever hair I have, though, I would dye. But the only thing I have to say is, like, I need to use something from the West. Nothing from China.
Fair.
Nothing from here.
Nothing from here. Okay, got it. All right, and we're actually having such a fun time, Joey. We're at the last question. It's a question that I ask everybody, but the answers always vary, and that is, what is your best, most recent accomplishment?
I'd say being on the set of Behavior, basically, because in that film I actually have like lines and whatnot, and you really get to see me and like acting. It's nice hearing about it, but to actually see me there, you know what I'm saying? Like the first somewhat big thing I'm going to be in, that you can actually see my trajectory. So you get to see like, oh, he was here. This is how he was here. Now, you can look 5 movies later, you can see the progression, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something big enough to where people are going to see it, and then the other stuff I do in the future, people could then use that as a point of reference for how
They know you.
Yeah.
You know, the slow come up, but that's the thing. It's a come up. You're about to have your own takeoff here, I feel like, especially since you're now starting to get more IMDb-like roles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I just can't wait till these things come out so I can get my IMDb page.
wait, it's not out yet?
No. All the movies I'm doing, like, they're still in development. So one of them, they finished shooting and whatnot, but the director told me, hey, we're still editing, we're still doing whatever. So, like, when it comes out, we're going to let you know when they have the
Final product.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, it's just a matter of time, but you're putting in the work, and that's all that matters. And so, Joey, that's a great accomplishment. I wanted to do acting at one point, and so you're living kind of my old dream. So good on you. Joey, that is the end of the show. You know, we're just wrapping up, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining the show.
One thing I want to say before we go, I got a YouTube channel called Fancygiant. My Instagram is at Fancygiant, 2 underscores in the middle. And my Twitch is Fancygiant.
Just Fancygiant.
Yeah.
It's actually great that you said all that, because I usually ask people, you know, if you want to like promote something at the end. I'll ask again though, just in case there's something else you missed. But thanks for giving us that, Joey. We're going to put all of those links in the description box below. And is there really anything else you want to promote?
Yeah, I got this concept I've been sort of working on. Like, you see me, you see what I do, it's cool. You see other people on Daniel's podcast, it's cool. And you see Daniel doing his stuff, right? In our own way, we're all giants. All of us. We're all doing big things. We're all working. Even if you're not on TV, even if you're not in movies, even if you're not doing a podcast or doing Bodyguard, we're all doing something that matters to us, and we're all doing something big. So I want you to all remember, each and every one of you, we're all giants.
That just made my heart very warm, Joey.
Thank you.
Because at 5'8", I never thought I could be a giant. But
of course, man.
Oh, now I just feel good on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, Joey, for gracing us with your present, for giving us a little glimpse of what it's like being a bodyguard, and a little glimpse into what you're doing and how you're just going to eventually contribute to entertainment overall in the future. That's what I think gives you, Fancygiant, big DK energy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yep.
And I love that name. I really do.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. So you're a great guy. I really hope you know that.
I do. And I appreciate you saying it.
Of course, man. With that all being said and done, I'm Danny K of the Big DK Energy Podcast, and we are signing off.